This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 10, verse 9, and it reads, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Brakaha Kodash, Yahweh being the name of the Father who the world everybody calls God, Yahweh, meaning he exists, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahushai, who the world everybody calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahushai, meaning he is salvation. Bahashem, in the name, Rakaha Kodash, Spirit Holy. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who teach you in the world, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akwathim, listen, learn in sincerity and in truth and in silence. Shalom. Akyam meaning brothers, Akwathim meaning sisters, Shalom meaning peace be unto you. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp here in Toronto, here with another lesson. Now we'll get right into it. Right. Another edition of the War Report. You see the article here, the headline from the English almayadeen.net, the news politics section. It says Yemen warns European Union, the EU, against playing with fire. Right, and this is from today, February 20th, 2024, the hopeful year that Jacob's trouble comes to pass. And it says here the remarks from the Ansar Allah's political bureau come as a result of the launch of the EU maritime coalition against Yemen and the sinking of a hostile UK chartered ship in the Red Sea. Right, this morning, news came out that UK chartered ship or warship was sunk by the Houthis. On Tuesday, Yemen Supreme Political Council member Mohammed Ali al-Houthi warned the European Union against playing with fire following the kickstart of their naval operation in the Red Sea. To the Europeans, do not play with fire and learn a lesson from Britain. You need not support the American devil in protecting the, see that word there, regime so that it can exterminate the people of with no disturbance, he said on a post. He said in a post on X. Al-Houthi further said international navigation is safe and your presence further increases the Red Sea's militarization, targets international navigation, and affects the food supply chains of your countries, Slovakia, of your own countries. This comes after the Yemeni armed forces, the YAF, attacked a hostile UK ship, the Rubimar, and sank it in the Gulf of Aden yesterday. Right, and this was hot news this morning. The EU formally launched a naval mission on Monday under the pretext of protecting Red Sea shipping from the operations of the Yemeni armed forces, following suit of a coalition spearheaded by the United States, which also included Britain, which was launched to protect Israeli ships and Israel-bound ships. The European Union aims to have the mission called Aspides, Greek for shield, up and running in a few weeks with at least 4 vessels, an official said on Friday. Right, you see, these EU nations, they all go back to one of the 7 heads: Germania Major, Germania Minor, the Greeks, the Romans, the British, the French, the Spanish, and Germania Minor, Germania Major, the Greeks, the Romans, the French, the British, and the Spanish. Right, 7 kingdoms of Esau. So look at what they named their operation: Aspides. right? A Greek word, right? And you know, Edomite supremacy began with the Greeks, Alexander the Creep. The naval coalition is set to deploy warships and aircraft early warning systems in the Red Sea. A failed global theatrical. Ansar Allah spokesperson Mohammed Abdul Salam also took to X on Monday to affirm that Yemen's retaliation in support of the Palestinian people in Gaza will resume as fierce as ever, adding that the US-UK attacks on Yemen serve as a distraction from the genocide in Gaza. The Americans and the British should know that Yemen's position will not change or break, but the country will become stronger and it remains committed to its stance, he said. Previously, during an armed march held for mobilization graduates, al-Houthi emphasized that the Americans and the British use attacks, strikes, provocations, and weapon recklessness to achieve a nefarious objective, which is to sustain war and siege against the people of Gaza. In contrast, Yemen is mobilizing its forces for the cause of peace in Gaza and all of Palestine. Scripture just came to mind, right? Because he says here, the Babylonians and the British use attacks, strikes, provocations, and weapon recklessness to achieve a nefarious objective, right? And that's Babylon the Great. Scripture says, Psalms 73 and 5, and it reads, they are not in trouble as other men, right? Esau, Edom, the wicked. Neither are they plagued like other men, right? They're in rulership. This is their heaven. So they're not plagued like the other nations. They're not plagued like Jake. Jake is the dregs of society, the 12 tribes. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, right? They're proud. Compass means to surround. Their pride surrounds them and surrounds them as a chain, right? That they ooze with pride, the Edomites. Here's the point. Violence covered them as a garment, right? Violence covered them as a garment, as clothing, right? We read there they use attacks and violence. That's Esau, Edom. That's who he is. Right? But this is going to continue. This is going to continue to be the buildup, the prelude to World War III. Right? It's just building up. Right? Scripture says the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right? That's in Jeremiah 49. Let's get that real quick, because these Yemen troops, they're firing on EU, Americans, British, right, in protest to the genocide that's taking place in Gaza. Jeremiah 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he has taken against Edom, you Edomites, the wicked, according to Scripture. You ruling class elites, you banking families, right? You NATO, you EU leaders, you banking cartels, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and the hub city being America the Great, Babylon the Great. And his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, Teman being the Germans, the physicists, the wise men of the house of Esau, who are the physicists, who are the Germans. They're nuclear scientists. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock is Amalek. He's going to pull America the Great, draw them out, pull them into war, right? Because what Yemen is doing and the Houthis is doing, they're doing this because of what's going on in the Gaza. They're firing off all kind of missiles in the Red Sea. They sunk a British ship yesterday or this morning, right? So the least of the flock shall draw them out, draw America into war, into World War III. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them, right? Surely he shall make their habitation, right? The Lord, the land of Israel is going to get struck with missiles also, right? Alongside America the Great, Babylon the Great. Verse 21, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall. The missiles. The noise is the missiles. Whose fall? Babylon the Great, America the Great. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Right, the Red Sea. The noise was heard in the Red Sea. The missiles. Right, the land of Israel is going to get touched alongside America the Great. Joel 3, let's close the scripture we open with. Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim me this among the Gentiles, right? You other nations, right? Prepare war, wake up the mighty men being the military, right? All nations are getting ready for war, man. They're mobilizing, they're moving equipment, infrastructure. They're getting ready. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, right? Plowshares is a farming tool. And your pruning hooks into spears. A pruning hook is a tree a device used to prune trees. Let's just double check in Joel. Right, so that means nations are coming out of that peace and getting ready for war. They're getting their population ready for war. They're these agricultural nations, these farming nations, right? They're getting their people ready for war. All hands on deck. There's going to be a draft. Pruning hook. And the Strongs. Slovakia. Pruning hook. Strong's H4211. Mazmira.
Strong's H4211. Mazmira.
Yeah, pruning knife. A pruning knife, pruning hook. Right, so a pruning knife, a pruning hook. Right? For fishermen. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hook into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong, right? Let the weak, right? So historic nations that were considered or deemed weak, they're now strong, right? This nation, Yemen, what are they known for? I'm pretty sure it's, let's check. What is it they trade? Their top export is crude oil, scrap iron, right? Non-fillet fresh fish. You see that? The top exports of Yemen are crude petroleum, scrap iron, non-fillet fresh fish, gold, non-fillet frozen fish, exporting mostly to Thailand, China, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Austria. Right? You see that right there? So they have an interest in Yemen, right? But yeah, that's it on that, man. Didn't want to go too long. You know what I mean? Right? But war is brewing, right? Joel 3 and 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, you other nations, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones, the angels, to come down, right? Because the angels working on the minds of all these nations, these nation leaders, their military brass. It's the angels working on their minds. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yehoshaphat, the Lord's judgment, the valley of decision down there in the so-called Middle East, West Asia. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right, World War III is going to take place in that region. Right, all troops are going to be sent there to what? To perish. So with that, stay prayed up, pray without ceasing. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach all the rule well. Shalom to the hopeful elect.